In September 1955, a young Hollywood icon climbed into a silver Porsche 550 Spyder. He never reached his destination, but the car did not end its story there. James Dean was only 24, a rising star, a symbol of rebellion and freedom. That year, he bought a lightweight racing car, fast, unstable, and unforgiving. He gave it a strange name, Little Bastard. Friends later recalled that Dean treated the car as something more than metal. He spoke to it, trusted it, and joked that it had a will of its own. On September 30th, on a California highway, the Porsche collided with another vehicle. James Dean died instantly. The other driver survived. The Porsche was destroyed beyond recognition, twisted into broken metal. Yet something about the wreck felt unfinished. The remains of the car were taken away and dismantled. Parts were sold, reused, given new life. And then the accidents began. The engine was installed into another racing car. Its new driver died during a race. The transmission went into a different vehicle. Another fatal crash followed. Even the tires taken from the Porsche failed catastrophically, exploding during a race and injuring spectators. Too many tragedies followed the same source. A lesser-known story surfaced years later. A warehouse worker claimed that the remains of the Porsche would sometimes change position overnight. Not roll, not fall, simply shift as if adjusting themselves. Another witness said that after the lights were turned off, metal could be heard creaking, despite the car having no suspension, no moving parts left. One man swore he heard the sound of an engine trying to start. There was no engine. In 1960, what remained of James Dean's Porsche was loaded into a sealed truck for transport. When the truck arrived at its destination, it was empty. No signs of theft. No accident. No explanation. Officially, the car was listed as lost. Unofficially, some believed it was hidden or destroyed before it could take another life. The road where James Dean died still exists. The legend of Little Bastard does too. Metal does not remember, but some stories refuse to fade. After its disappearance, the story should have ended. But legends rarely stop when evidence runs out. In the years that followed, rumors began to circulate among collectors, mechanics, and racing historians. Some claimed that individual parts from the Porsche continued to surface. Unmarked fragments of aluminum, a steering component with no serial number, metal that seemed impossibly familiar. Each time, accidents seemed to follow. Fires, mechanical failures, sudden, unexplained loss of control. No one ever proved these parts came from James Dean's car. No one wanted to. A former race engineer once claimed that every piece taken from Little Bastard behaved strangely. Bolts loosened on their own. Engines vibrated without cause. Instruments malfunctioned even after being carefully tested. He refused to work on any component rumored to be linked to the Porsche again. By the late 1960s, the legend had taken on a life of its own. Mechanics whispered that the car had absorbed the moment of Dean's death, the speed, the impact, the unfinished momentum. That it wasn't cursed in the traditional sense, but trapped. Frozen in the instant, it should have stopped existing. Some believe the car didn't want an owner. It wanted a driver. Decades later, an anonymous letter surfaced, allegedly written by a transport worker. He claimed that the truck which arrived empty in 1960 had not been empty at all. According to him, the cargo was removed late at night, unloaded without records, and taken to an undisclosed location. The men involved were warned never to speak of it again. The letter ended with a single line. Certain things should never be rebuilt. Today, no verified remains of James Dean's Porsche exist. Museums deny having it. Private collectors deny knowledge of it. Official archives list it as missing with no further notes. And yet, stories persist. Stories of a silver shape seen under tarps in locked garages. Stories of engines that refuse to shut off. Stories of mechanics who walk away mid-project, pale and silent. James Dean once said he lived fast because he didn't expect to live long. His car did. Some say Little Bastard was destroyed to protect the world from a dangerous legend. Others believe it still exists, waiting, unfinished, unrestored, and unresolved. Metal may not remember, but momentum does. In the end, there are no photographs, No documents. No proof. Only silence where answers should be. James Dean's Porsche was built to go fast, to push limits, to exist on the edge between control and chaos. And when its driver died, that edge never disappeared. It remained, carried forward in stories, in accidents, in whispers passed between people who know when not to ask questions. Maybe the car was cursed. Maybe it was nothing more than steel and coincidence. But some objects become symbols, and symbols do not obey reason. They absorb fear. They collect meaning. They outlive the truth. Somewhere, the legend of Little Bastard still moves forward, unfinished, unseen, and untouched by time. And as long as its story is told, the engine never truly stops.